Welcome back to Carneades.org. Today we're going to be continuing with our series, Dumbfounding Definitions, Dizzying Distinctions, and Diabolical Doctrines, a series sorted through some of the jargon of philosophy. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at what is a sound argument. Now, as we talked about in the last video, we have deductive and inductive arguments. Check out a video on deductive versus inductive arguments for more on those. Within deductive arguments, we have valid arguments. They are a subset of deductive arguments. And within valid arguments, we have sound arguments that are themselves a subset of valid arguments. Within inductive, we have strong arguments and cogent arguments. So a sound argument is a valid argument where all the premises are true, and therefore the conclusion must be true. So a deductive argument is the type of argument that says that the premises imply the truth of the conclusion. A valid argument is an argument where, in fact, those premises do imply the truth of the conclusion. There's no possible world in which the premises are true and the conclusion is false. And a sound argument is one in which the premises of that argument are actually true. And therefore the conclusion must be true because it's also valid. Right? So, let's look at some examples. Robin is a woman. All women are assassins. Therefore, Robin is an assassin. This is a deductive argument. The premises claim to show that the conclusion is absolutely true. It's a valid argument because if the premises were true, then the conclusion must be true. But it's not a sound argument because the second premise, that all women are assassins, is not true, at least in this possible world. Rubber is an electrical insulator. Electrical insulators do not readily conduct electricity. Therefore, rubber does not readily conduct electricity. It's a deductive argument. It's a valid argument. If the premises are true, the conclusion must be true. And it is a sound argument because the premises are true, at least in this possible world, and it is valid. And finally, some fish have poisonous skin. If you eat a fish with poisonous skin, you may die. Therefore, the only way to avoid dying from poisoned fish is to always have an antidote nearby. It's a deductive argument, but it's an invalid argument. It's possible that there's another way to avoid dying from poisonous fish, namely not eating the poisonous fish. And the second premise even says that you're not necessarily going to die if you eat a fish with poisonous skin. So there's a few problems there. So it's invalid. And therefore the argument is unsound, despite the fact that the two premises are probably true. Some fish probably have poisonous skin, and if you eat a fish with some of the fish with poisonous skin, you may end up dying. So, despite the premises being true, the argument must also be valid in order to be sound. So because it's invalid, it must be unsound. Next up, we're going to take a look at what is a strong argument. Watch this video and more here at Carneades.org, and stay skeptical, everybody.